Guys, I hope you all are doing well. So today in this video we are going to understand the blueprint or structure of our final exam question paper. तो आज की इस वीडियो में हम बहुत ही बेहतरीन तरीके से और बहुत ही बारीकी से जो हमारा क्लास 9th का एनुअल एग्जाम है उसका पूरा स्ट्रक्चर समझने वाले हैं। तो जो टाइम अलाउड होगा हमको अपना पूरा पेपर असाइन करने के लिए वो होगा 3 आवर्स का, और जो मैक्सिमम मार्क्स होंगे यानी वो होंगे हमारे 80, और जो टोटल क्वेश्चन हमको असाइंड होंगे क्वेश्चन पेपर में वो होंगे 38। और जो हमारा क्वेश्चन पेपर है वो 4 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड होगा। सेक्शन ए हिस्ट्री, सेक्शन बी जियोग्राफी, सेक्शन सी पॉलिटिकल साइंस और सेक्शन डी इकोनॉमिक। जो सारे सेक्शंस होंगे हर सेक्शन 20 मार्क्स का होगा, और हर सेक्शन में जो है हमारे वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर, लॉन्ग आंसर, केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन और मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन इंक्लूड होंगे। तो इसी के साथ हम बढ़ते हैं हमारे क्वेश्चन पेपर के पहले पेज की तरफ। जो पहला पेज होगा उसका लुक कुछ ऐसा होगा जिसमें जो जितने जनरल इंस्ट्रक्शन जो मैंने अभी आपको बताए हैं वो सभी रिटर्न होंगे, तो इसको पढ़ने की अभी जरूरत नहीं है। हम बढ़ते हैं हमारे क्वेश्चन पेपर के पहले सेक्शन के पहले क्वेश्चन की तरफ। तो जो हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन है वो बोल रहा है, हिटलर्स आइडिया ऑफ रेशियलिज्म वर बेस्ड ऑन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग थिंकर्स। जो हिटलर का रेशियलिज्म का आइडिया था वो इनमें से किस थिंकर पे बेस्ड था। तो जो इसका करेक्ट ऑप्शन होगा वो होगा ऑप्शन नंबर ए, चार्ल्स डार्विन। और जो इसकी एक्सप्लेनेशन होगी वो होगी हमारी, हिटलर्स आइडिया ऑफ racial was borrowed from Charles Darwin evolution and natural selection. In this idea, Nordic Germans, Aryans were at the top and Jews at the lower rank. Now come to our next question. On the political map of France, A is marked as a place from where volunteers marched into the France capital. Identify it from the following option. So the correct option will be Marshallese, and there is no explanation. Come to our next question. The Great Depression was a period of, so the correct option will be economic crisis, and the explanation of this answer will be, Wall Street Exchange collapsed in one day, around 13 million shares were sold. The start of economic depression. The national income of the USA halved. Factories shut down. Farmers were hit. Export fell and speculative took money off the market. The industrial production of Germany reduces to 40%. People lost job, paid reduced wages, unemployment at 6 million. Criminal activities increased, saving of old age lost as current lost of this its value. Peasants couldn't feel the stomach. It also factors indicate that the Great Depression was an economic crisis. Now come to our next question. The next question is, what was the Russian parliament called? So the Russian parliament called Duma. So the correct option will be option C. And the explanation of this answer will be, the Russian elected parliament was called Duma, which made laws for the country. Now come to our next question. Next question have two parts in which we have to do anyone. मतलब जो आपके क्वेश्चन पेपर आएंगे उसमें और करके एक ही क्वेश्चन के दो पार्ट्स आएंगे जिनमें से आपको कोई भी एक अटेम्प्ट करना होगा। तो जो हमारे फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन का फर्स्ट पार्ट है वो पूछ रहा है, व्हाट डू यू नो अबाउट स्टेट जनरल। और जो सेकंड पार्ट है इस क्वेश्चन का वो कह रहा है, द 18th century France witnessed the emerge of a middle class. Who were they and what were their idea? तो जो हमारा फर्स्ट पॉइंट है उसका आंसर होगा The State General was a political body to which the three states sent their representative. And point B. In France of a old regime, the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes. Rather, he had to call a meeting of the State General to pass the proposal for new taxes. Point number C. However, it was the monarch alone who could decide when to call a meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in 1614. And the answer of our second part of this question will be first point. The 18th century witnessed the emergence of a social group termed as a middle class. And the point number B will be they earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and manufacture of goods such as woolen, silk, textile that were exposed or brought by the richer member of society. And the point number C will be in addition to merchant and manufacture, the third state include professionals such as lawyer and administrative officials. People of middle class were educated and believed that no privilege should be given by birth. Rather, position of a person is society should be merit based. Now come to our the next question is asked highlight the ideology of liberals or highlight the ideologies of conservatives. So now first of all we are going to read the ideologies of liberals. One of the group which aimed to changing society was that of the liberals. They wanted a nation which tolerate all religion. Point B. They opposed religious discrimination and uncontrolled power of dynastic rulers. Point number C. The wanted a representative elected parliament government but did not believe in universal adult franchise. They also did not want the vote for women. Now or the answer of the second part that asks the ideologies of conservatives, so the answer will be they opposed to liberals and radical in the 18th century. They were generally opposed to the idea of change. Point number B. By the 19th century, they accepted that some changes were necessary, but through the slow process. And last point will be they believed in old or past tradition and customs. Now coming to our the next question is asked what was the contribution of French philosopher in the outbreak of the revolution in 1981 in France, or who formed the Jacobin Club? What measure had to take to remove discrimination in the French society and form a French republic? So the answer of first part will be the revolutionary idea of philosopher encouraged people to fight from their rights. First point, Voltaire wanted people to think about their material life on earth and forgot about heaven. Second point, John Locke criticized and refused the divine and absolute right of the rules. Third, Russia put forward the idea of a formation of a government based on a social contrast between people and their rulers. Men had the right to withdraw their loyalty to the ruler if they were not satisfied with him. Fourth point, Montesquieu criticized autocracy and believed that all power should not be conferred in all person hand. They could be divided between the legislative and executive and the judiciary. The idea of these philosophers exposed the evils of society and infused people with the idea of liberty, fraternity, and equality. They inspired people to fight for their rights. And the answer of same question second part will be the Jacobin Club was formed by Maximilian Robespierre. The measure taken or adopted were first point formation of political clubs. Largest section of the society were convinced that the revolution had to be carried further as the contribution of 1791 were political rights only to the richer section of the society. Political club became an important rallying point for people who wished to discuss government political policies and plan their own form of action. Second, member of Jacobin Club. Its members were from less prosperous section of society. They include small shopkeeper, artisans like shoemaker, pastry cook, watchmaker, and daily wage earner. The last number of members of the Jacobin Club decided to wear long striped trousers to look apart. They also wore red cap to symbolize freedom. Third, all citizens got the right to vote. On the morning of 10th of August 1792, Jacobins stormed the Palace of Tuileries, marched the King's Guard and held the King's hostage, and several hours later they voted to imprison the royal family. Then the assembly declared that election would be held to form a government. All men about 21 years of age, regardless of wealth, got the right to vote. Fourth, declaration of France as a republic. The newly elected assembly are called convention. On 21st of September 1792, it abolished the monarchy and declared France as a republic. Now people elected their government. There was no hereditary monarchy. Fifth, and to monarchy. Louis XVI was sentenced to death by the court or the charges and betray his own country on 21st January 1793. He was executed publicly at the place of consort. The Queen Maria Antoinette also met with the same fate. Now came to question. Now read this following extract and give the question that is behind this extract. Now read this. Under the shadow of the Second World War, Germany has waged a genocidal war, which resulted into the mass murder of selected group of innocent civilians of Europe. The number of people killed includes 6 million Jews, 20,000 Jews, 1 million Polish civilians, 70,000 Germans. Nazis devised a unprecedented meaning of killing people, that is by grazing them a various killing center. The Nuremberg Tribunal sentenced only 11 leading Nazis to death. Many others were imposed for life. The retribution did come, yet the punishment of the Nazis was for short of the brutality. The extent of their crime, the Allies did not want to be harsh on defected Germans as they had been after the First World War. Now the question number first, what is genocidal war? And question number second, name the killing center employed by mass killing. And the question number third, what was the reason behind killing these 70,000 Germans? So the answer will be first part. Genocidal was started by Germany during the Second World War. It refers to the killing of selected group of innocent civilians of Europe on a large scale which lead to their destruction. Second point, Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, anyone you can write. Third part, the Nazis killed Germans who were considered mentally and physically disabled were killed. Also, the universal political opponent saw the same fate. Now come to our next question, that is, two places A and B have been marked on the given outline map of the world. Identify them and write their correct name on the line drawn near them. A. Name the country which faced a nuclear bomb. B. The national anthem of France got its name from the name of this place. So the answer of first will be Japan and the answer of second will be Turkey. Now move to the 10th question. 10th question. Now guys, our first section of history is completed. Now we are going to learn about geography. That is also about 20 marks. So the first question from our section B, geography, is Sambhar Lake is situated in. So the answer will be option number C, Rajasthan. Now move to our next question. The following table shows the magnitude and rate of Indian population growth. Read the data and select the appropriate option from the following. Now guys, from this question, a question is asked, since which year has the rate of growth started declining gradually? So the answer will be option number A, 1981. Explanation: 1981 had the highest 2.22 annual growth rate. After then it began to decline. Now move to our next question. Question number 12. On the giving outline map of India, identify the location with the help of specified information. On the physical map, A is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. Identify its form and given option. So the answer will be D, Deccan Plateau. Now move to our the next question about find the odd one out with respect to Brahmaputra river system. So the answer will be Meghna, Ambala, Farakka, West Bengal. And the explanation of this answer will be Meghna, Ambala, Farakka, West Bengal is a part of Ganga river system. Now move to our next question. Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Sikkim have common frontier with. The answer will be option number C, Nepal. And the explanation of this answer will be Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, West Bengal and Sikkim have common frontier with Nepal. Now move to our next question. Question number 15. Question number 15 asks, which of the following range is most continuous, consists of a loft peak? So the answer will be option number C, Himadri. Now move to our next question, question number 16. What are the problems faced by adolescents in India? Answer: a diet available to adolescents inadequate in all nutritions. B. The large number of adolescent girls suffer from anemia. Their problem have so far not received adequate attention in the process of development. And the third point will be the adolescent girl have to be sensitized to problem they confront. Now move to our next question. Number 17. What is monsoon? Why is monsoon considered a unifying bond? Or write a note on southwest monsoon season and rainy season. So the answer of first part will be the Himalaya protect the subcontinent from extremely cold wind from Central Asia. This enables northern India to have uniformly higher temperature than compared to other area on the same latitude. Second point, the peninsular plateau under the influence of the sea from three sides has moderate temperature. Third point, the seasonal alternation of wind season and associated weather condition provide a rhythmic cycle of season. Fourth, even an uncertainty of rain and uneven distribution are very typical of the monsoon. Fifth, the Indian landscape, it also name the plant life. Its entire agricultural calendar and the life of the people, including their festival, revolve around the phenomena. Year after year, people of India from north to south and from east to west early await of arrival of monsoon. These monsoon winds bind the whole country by providing water to get the agriculture activity in motion. The river valley which carry this water alone unite as a age river valley unit. Now move to our or the second part of the same question. So the answer will be the monsoon or rainy season begin from mid June and last till the end of September. By the end of May, pressure over North India became lower due to the increasing temperature. This caused air from high pressure zone over the India Ocean to move towards India as monsoon winds. These winds are moisture laden and cause heavy rainfall in India. Since these winds called the advancing monsoon entire India form. The southwest they are called the southwest monsoon. During this time of the year, the southwest monsoon wind start blowing from the sea to land. When these winds strike the mountain barrier, rainfall occurs. Now move to question number 18 asks, read the following text carefully and answer the question that follow. So the text is, the India landmass has a central location between East and West Asia. India is southward extension on the Asian continent. The Trans-India route which connect the countries to Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia provide a strategic central location on India. The Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Ocean, thus helping India to establish close contrast with West Asia, Africa, and Europe from the western coast and with Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. No other country has a long coastline of the India once as India had and ended. It is India's entire position in the Indian Ocean, which justifies the naming of ocean after it. Since the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869, India's distance from Europe has been reduced by 7,000 kilometers. India contrasted with the world have continued through ages, but the relationship through the land route are much older than the maritime contrast. The various passes across the mountain in the north have provided passage to the ancient travel, while the ocean restricted such interaction for a long time. These routes have contributed to the exchange of idea and commodity since ancient time. So the first question is, when did the Suez Canal first open? How has it helped India? Second, state any two reasons that make India's strategic location at the head of the Indian Ocean so the important. Which peninsula helped India to establish easy contact with West Asia, East Africa and Europe from the western coast? Move to the next page. So the answer of first part will be the Suez Canal was opened in 1869. It has reduced the distance between India and Europe by 7,000 kilometers. Second, any 2 points. India is strategically located at the center of the Trans-India Ocean routes. Second point, India could establish close contact with Southeast and East Asia from the eastern coast. Third point, India could establish close contact with West Asia, Africa and Europe from the western coast. Answer number third. The Deccan Peninsula helped India to establish easy contact with West Asia, West Africa and Europe from western coast. Now move to our next page.